What's up guys, Filterless here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the RTX 3080 XG Mobile. This thing is an absolute beast. You can see we have Cyberpunk running right here at almost 100 FPS. This is Ultra 1080p going back to the Ally screen. And we're going to have a ton of other tests that will show just how drastic the difference is between the Ally and the XG Mobile. This thing really turns your device into a full-fledged PC. However, I did notice one serious flaw that could be a game ruiner for you, and we're going to go over all of that in this video. Another thing we're going to be testing out is the fan noise at the different power profiles, as well as how each of those profiles affect performance. And I quickly wanted to show y'all what's in the box. Very simplistic packaging. We have the 3080 right there, and as soon as we open up this little pouch, you can see we've got the connector that's connected to the XG Mobile and just a power cable, and there's this little sticker that's on the device that just peels right off that just shows RTX 3080. And the first thing I wanted to go over is just how small the XG Mobile actually is. Here I have my Asus laptop power brick for my G15, and I would say the XG Mobile is more portable. You can see here just how thin it is. It's actually thinner than the Ally when it's sitting on a table, so it is very mobile. It also has this really neat kickstand that pops out, and this allows you to just set it up at an angle. For the ports, we have an SD card reader up on the top of the device, and on the back we just have our power connector, Ethernet port, then we have a display port version 1.4, then we have an HDMI, and this is only version 2.0. And the reason that's important is it only does 4K 60 Hz instead of 120 Hz. It also has 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports, so these are good for about 10 gigabits per second. And then we have the connector that actually plugs into the Ally. One thing I'm not a fan of are these little metal pins that are sticking out on the side. As you can see here, as you push the button in, these little metal pins go in and out. It just doesn't feel very durable. And whenever you connect it to the Ally and you slide up this little lock, that actually stops the pins from moving, so it will stay in the device. Then we have an 8-lane PCI Express 3.0 port here, as well as 10 gigs for data. So this is actually 63 gigs dedicated to the graphics card, and that gives it over 50% more bandwidth than something like Thunderbolt. The cable to connect to the Ally is not very long, as you can see here, and it is extremely thick. It's very hard to bend. It really just doesn't want to move much, and that makes it where if you're wanting to play it in handheld mode, you kind of can do it, but you do need to be right on the device, and you'd want it kind of facing towards you. I don't think it's something I would use much, but you definitely could do it, and you do get great performance. And the way to plug it in, you can see we have the XG Mobile port up here on the top. So we simply just plug it in, and then we just push this lock switch forward towards the Ally. You'll see this little activation pop up, or we just click OK to switch to it. And you'll see here it's processing, and then it's going to switch over to the monitor, and it continues processing, but it doesn't take too long, and then we are connected to an external display. One thing to note, sometimes when you click OK, you are going to get this window that's showing applications that need to be stopped before you can switch. Then when you want to disconnect it, you can click the little down arrow down at the bottom, and then click on this little XG Mobile icon. You'll see it will show deactivate the ROG XG Mobile, so we just have to click OK. We're going to get that same exact window that's just showing us these applications are going to need to shut down to switch back, so we just have to click stop all on all of these, and then once again it will say deactivate the XG Mobile. We just click stop all. You can see here it's deactivating. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. This is 2x speed, and it's about to disconnect. It takes a little while to do it this way. There we go. So you can see it just finished. And so the method I prefer is using G-Helper. You can see here we get a little option, and we can just click on XG Mobile, and then it's going to switch without giving us any prompts. There you go. You can see it just switched using G-Helper, so pretty quick. Then if we want to disconnect it from G-Helper, we can just open it up, click on XG Mobile, and we just get this one window that says, do you want to close them all? You just click on yes, and look how fast that switched. We're already done, so I prefer that method a lot more to the Asus method, but they both work pretty great. Now onto the fan test. Here we are in silent. What's really cool about the XG Mobile is it follows the Armory Crate profile. So if you're in a silent profile, it will bring everything down, and if you go to performance, it will ramp up all the fans, and if you go into turbo, it controls the Ally and the XG Mobile together. So have a quick listen to the fan noise. We'll start with silent, then performance and turbo. And as you heard there, turbo is extremely loud, a bit too loud in my opinion. What I prefer is performance mode, which is also called balanced and G helper. That gives just the right amount of fans where it's not too loud and you get great performance. Silent also gives pretty good performance, so let's go ahead and jump in the benchmarks and see what those performance differences are. Starting with a couple quick synthetic benchmarks, we got about 9300 on the graphics score in silent. You can see the CPU doesn't like silent as it's 10 watts. Jumping up to performance, we're at almost 10,700 on the graphics score and almost 7,000 on the CPU. Then going all the way up to turbo, we're approaching almost 12,000 for that graphics score and about 8,800 for the CPU score. Then starting off with the first game we're testing, we have The Witcher. We're on the Ultra preset FSR2 and it is set to auto, and this is at 4K. And we have silent on the left, performance in the middle, and turbo on the right. This is at 4K at ultra settings. And let's go ahead and just fast forward a little bit through the benchmark so we can get those averages. And as you can see here, we're getting around 50 or so for silent, 60, 62 for performance, and 70 for turbo. So about a 10 FPS increase as we increase the power profile. And you can see here the temperatures do run a little hotter on the GPU, and we're using about 90 watts on the GPU. It is pretty much maxed out in silent. Then about 120 in performance. Performance is by far my favorite mode. It's not too loud and the games still run really well. And we're using about 150 watts in turbo mode. And just for fun, I wanted to switch the XG Mobile over to 1080p. These are both set to medium with auto for FSR. However, it does look a bit clearer on the right. And take a look at the FPS. We're getting about 50 on the Ally. This is at 30 watts. And we are in turbo over here on the XG Mobile, but we are averaging 130 FPS, which is an amazing result. You can see here it's approaching about 140 to 50 FPS. Now moving on to Skyrim, and we are using the Ultra preset at 4K. And you can see we're getting about 70 over here on silent mode at 4K, highest settings, about 85 for performance, and then 95, almost hitting 100 at 4K and turbo mode. And if you were to drop this down to something like 1440p, you would be getting drastically higher frame rates. And once again, just for fun, I wanted to knock that XG Mobile to 1080p, and this is on medium settings on both. And you can see here we're getting about 65 on the Ally at 30 watts and about 225 on the XG Mobile. The thing is an absolute beast, and you can see it's not even utilizing the GPU. This could be a game or CPU bottleneck here, but either way, around 230 plus, you're not going to have too many problems. Now moving on to a heavy hitter, we are testing Resident Evil 4, and we're doing prioritized graphics at 4K with no FSR, no upscaling. So these are running at the native 4K with prioritized graphics. Absolutely a beast of a game to run on the Ally. And even with the XG Mobile, you can see here we're only getting about 30 FPS in silent mode, which is still pretty good. We're getting about 38 over here in performance mode, and then 44 over here in turbo. Like I said, the fans are running really loud in that turbo mode, but that is in the 40s, which is going to be a better experience. And since this is such a demanding game, I decided to knock the XG down to 1080p and test 1440p. These are both on prioritized graphics. The Ally over here at 30 watts is on balance mode, so slightly less graphic fidelity. And you can see here we're getting about 36 on the Ally. On the XG Mobile at 1080p, we're getting about 120, and then at 1440p, still getting 90 FPS on prioritized graphics. That is an amazing experience if you have a 1440p monitor. So overall, a really huge performance bump on that XG Mobile. Another game I wanted to test out, Red Dead Redemption 2. We're running 4K and one click over into favor quality. The Ally is at 1080p down here, the XG Mobile's at 4K, and they are running the exact same settings. Obviously it will look a little clearer over here. Even though the video is at 1080p, you still will see more detail when it's showing 4K. And you can see here as he gets on the horse and starts riding, we can see we're getting about 37, 38, so near 40 and about 48 or so, and that's at 4K. So this game would definitely be playable even at 4K. And if you wanted to knock it down slightly, that would give you just a little more FPS. So let's go ahead and fast forward through the rest of this. And on the built-in benchmark, we got about 39 on the Ally and about 46 on the XG Mobile. And of course, we got to test GTA 5 4K, pretty much very high settings with a mix of a couple high settings in there. And you are going to have no problem running this on anything. Let's go ahead and just fast forward here a little bit through the benchmark to get these averages to level off a little. And you can see here we're at about 83 on silent mode, right at 100 FPS on performance, and about 110 on turbo. Then I wanted to test Dying Light. So this is best quality 4K. We don't have VSync on, and kicking things off, we're right at 60 FPS even on silent mode. So if you adjusted a couple settings down, you wanted it to be really quiet, and you had a 60 hertz 4K TV, you could actually play this in silent, no problem. You can see right here, we actually approached 70 FPS for a second. We're averaging about 63 on silent, 71 on performance, and 81 on turbo. Here we're testing out Doom 4K, and we are running the Ultra preset. And this is a game where you definitely don't need to run performance or turbo. You can see here in silent mode, we are getting over 100 FPS for the average at 4K highest settings, with performance getting us around 120 and turbo getting us 140. This would be a perfect game to run at 120 hertz if you had a 4K TV, except for that HDMI 2.0 port can only go to 60 hertz. So that is one flaw that you would definitely feel in this game, because you would only be able to do 60 hertz at 4K and wouldn't be able to utilize that 120. Now moving on to Crysis, we're running 4K and we're running high settings with ray tracing off. Always found ray tracing to be a bit of a waste in performance, and you can see here silent and performance are actually really close. So we're getting about 52 on silent, 55 on performance, and then 66 on turbo. But this is 4K on high settings on Crysis, so a pretty good result, definitely playable. Then as a fun test, I wanted to go ahead and knock that XG Mobile down to 1080p, and this is on medium settings now. So is the Ally, exact same graphic settings, just to see the differences. The Ally is always in turbo, so is the XG Mobile. And you can see here we're getting about 57, mid 50s on the Ally, and 254. And you can see here the GPU is not actually being utilized all the way. This thing is just a beast. And here on Arc, we're running 4K high settings, and you can see I just turned that resolution scale all the way up. I really like it to be clearer. When this is turned down, it makes it look a bit blurry. This is a very difficult game to benchmark while running, just due to stutters, then running back as the time of day changes. So I'm just standing still for this test. And you can see here we're getting about 50 FPS on silent, and this is at 4K high settings, which is absolutely amazing. 60, a little over 60 on performance, and almost 70 on turbo. And I also wanted to test this at 1080p. This is medium settings. Resolution scale is set all the way to the right, but the medium preset, you can see here we're getting about 30 on the Ally and about 150 plus on the XG Mobile. Now on to something that I would consider a serious flaw here. You'll see I'm about to run Crystal Disk on my external SSD, so it's going to start using that bandwidth of those 4 USB ports in the back. As you can see here, we just got a pop-up with a USB error, and it's saying the USB device is not recognized. You can see here in File Explorer, the hard drive has disappeared. The light has gone off on it. The controller just started blinking, and the hard drive's not even plugged in anymore. And this is why this is a bigger deal than just the hard drive temporarily disconnecting. So I decided to plug in a Corsair mouse, and you can see the light is not on at all, and it's plugged into the back. And after restarting the device and plugging everything back in, you can see they're all working again because there's not a lot of bandwidth being used. So here I decided to load up Forza Horizon 5 because I know I've had this problem in this game, and you will see I'm driving around, everything seems to be fine. And then right here, what you're going to see is the game is just about to freeze. You'll see the car stutter for a second, and then it is going to just completely crash. And then the other thing that's going to happen, I'll just fast forward a little bit here. You'll see we're getting that USB error without doing anything. The mouse just shut off. Next thing you know, the controller will start blinking. There we go. So all the USB ports have lost power once again. And so here I went and grabbed an Anchor hub, and I have all the same peripherals hooked up, and there's not going to be any issue at all. Fast forward even more, this is like 10x speed, and I have used this Anchor hub as well as another Anchor hub for hundreds of hours of benchmarks, and I've never had an issue with the exact same drive, other other drives. So it's definitely something with the XG Mobile. I've even had it where the drive's not even plugged in and my Xbox controller temporarily disconnected multiple times. It was much less frequent, but it is a serious concern in my opinion, and it could just be a defect with my XG Mobile. Unfortunately, Best Buy where I bought it, they're sold out, so when I return this, I'm not going to be able to do an exchange to see if the new one is fixed, but this could be a common issue as well that people aren't finding because they're not utilizing that bandwidth on the back. And I still think the XG Mobile is amazing, and if you're not going to be doing editing off of it or transferring lots of data using an external hard drive and you're just planning on plugging a mouse, keyboard, and a couple smaller things up to it, this could work perfectly fine and you won't have any problems. So I can see where most people wouldn't even notice this, and I absolutely love the experience. So if it wasn't for this serious flaw, I definitely would have kept this and it would have been my PC replacement. I was planning on selling the Asus laptop. It's that good of a setup. I like it more than my 2080 Ti desktop setup that I had because it's so much more portable. It works really well and I can just have everything on one device. So I can install my games, all my saves, emulators are on the Ally, plug it in when I get home, and you have a full-fledged beast of a gaming PC. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next one. Peace.